Your Excellency, our dear leader, and for me, not just a leader, an elder brother, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, and a special round of applause for him. Thank you, sir, for being here. Your Excellency, my dear wife, members of the National Assembly, let me recognize all of you, great leaders of this state, great leaders of the John Nation, our wonderful friends, allies, and partners, captains of industry that are here. Let me recognize especially the chairman of today's occasion, the chairman also of the Trust Fund, and all of you who have made our time from near as well as from far to be here. I want to thank my brothers, my sisters, great Bayelsans who are here in this number. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I would just want to make brief remarks before we go into the reason we are assembled here today. Today is not a day for people like us who only make speeches and talk hot air. Today is for those who will dole out millions and billions, not just in naira, but in every available currency in the world. And as you do so, may this good Lord bless you all in Jesus' name. Just quick points. Firstly, I don't want us to overstate the importance of what we are doing, the importance of investing in education. Because as we've always said, education and investment in human capital must remain an essential cornerstone upon which we'll continue to build our state and the John Nation. So we don't want to overflog it. Second, I would want to also give credit to all our leaders, all of you here, those at home, those who have always encouraged and supported, those who have always come to identify and counsel and advise, and those who, like Professor Isson and Professor Alagwa, Professor Clark, even in their age, Professor Ibrahim Spiff, who is not here but who is here with us in spirit, Ambassador Ekpebo, and all of them, in spite of their age, anytime we call on them for advice, to support, to render service, as Professor Son is doing, they always do. Please a special round of applause for Bayelsa elders. And I thank the good and wonderful people of this great state, and I thank all our leaders, all those who have had, at one time or the other, an opportunity to impact in this sector. No one particular leader, no one particular government, no one particular administration should and can take the credit for all of this. We've been building schools, we've been making investments in these states. So I just wanted to say that we should all collectively share in the success that we have achieved for now. For example, the first civilian administration of Chief Alamesia gave us the Niger Delta University. A special round of applause to them. So we must recognize and respect that. And at some point in 2006, I had an opportunity, by the grace of God and by the benevolence of former President Jonathan, who is seated here today, to serve as a member of his cabinet, as Attorney General of this state. And I know the investments that were also made. I know that was when this idea of selecting bright children, Bayelsa children, from our rustic Creek communities, that idea came and the policy was adopted, and they were selected and sent to top secondary schools across this country. That program was fully paid for and sustained. Unfortunately, when that government ended in 2007, and I went to the House of Reps, former president became vice president, and then the rest is history. When I came back here to 2012, that program had been killed and had been effectively buried. But 2012, following our declaration of emergency, we resuscitated it and doubled the number of students, trying to catch up and send them to all top schools across this country. And then we said, after 1 year, I said, no, we can't be sending our children to those top schools anymore. That was good at the time. Now we must begin the process of building the schools now and grooming them here at home. But even before 2007, I know that former president awarded contracts for 2 model schools, one gifted children's school and a model school, but they were all abandoned. All abandoned. So I just wanted to correct that and put it in proper context and to say that all of us, all our leaders, have in one way or the other contributed to the success that we have seen in this sector. Please, a round of applause to all our leaders and all of you. Now, following the declaration of emergency 2012 and the investments that we have made in this sector, at the last count, from what the Commissioner for Education has told me, we have spent over 80 billion naira building schools, building educational infrastructure. And we're not talking of money spent in paying salaries of schools, so no, teachers, no. We are talking of money actually spent in building schools. Schools that could have been built, but were not built. Schools that could have been completed, but were abandoned. That's what we have been doing. And so, as a result of that policy, we now have, from a state where we didn't have a single functional school because they were abandoned, boarding school, we now have, at the last count, about 15. 13 are actually running now. 13. A round of applause for Bayelsa. From 0 to 13. And the flagship of them all, the John National Academy. That school in Kayama now has about 1,300, 1,500 students. 80% of them from this state, boys and girls. And the remaining 20% from Ijaw-speaking communities, from Ondo down to Ibeno, across the length and breadth of the John Nation. They are there. In every local government area of this state, my dear leaders, by now you have functional boarding schools where you have normal facilities, girls' hostels, boys' hostels, you have their laboratories, you have their refectories, you have their dining halls and the auditorium, you have all those standard facilities, libraries, laboratories, everything. 15, 13 have started, and we're running them. In all your local government areas, you have them. In all of them. In some cases, we didn't build totally new schools. We had to build these facilities, because schools is about facilities. So they're all there. You go to Kayama, you have not just the John National Academy. We had to build a school for sports development. So you have the Sports Academy at Asuama, where young Bayelsa children are there, receiving the best in educational development and training, but also being exposed to sports development. Because, let's tell ourselves the truth, we are a state of champions. Are we not? We are a state of champions. So, this is the kind of program your government, under me, has been investing in. And so, in this program, to which you have all been invited to contribute, we are carrying out a robust training program of teachers. Because if you build the schools and the teachers don't have the skills or the knowledge to impart knowledge, then what you have done is not much. There is a robust mechanism established by law, establishing a teachers' training system by which every single teacher in this school, in this state, goes through that period of training. And they've started it. And it's mandatory. They are selected. They go there for training for a month or two according to their programs. and that is going on for both primary schools, secondary schools. We started with investing in primary schools. We built primary schools, new schools, and for the first time even built accommodation facilities for teachers and headmasters in all our communities. We've covered a number of them, about 400, but there's still a lot of work ahead to be done. In this fund, we will support another landmark program that has been introduced, i.e. the Bayelsa State Tertiary Students Loan Board. That's another concept introduced by us by law to enable all our young boys and girls who, after passing through these several wonderful schools that we have built, will have need to proceed for higher education. We have made it easy for them to access a fund that has been established by law for sustainability. A board has been appointed, they are running, and guess what? We have dedicated 5% of our IGR to the funding of the Bayelsa State Tertiary Education Loans Board. The Loans Board has started calling for applications, and in the next couple of weeks, the first beneficiaries will be identified. Our aim is to make education accessible to all our people, because that's the only tool we have to fight this oppression and to equip our people to survive and excel in an increasingly competitive and globalized environment. We also established by law the Science and Technical Education Board, because the future belongs to technology and science. And we fished out one of our best, Professor Ibami Spiff, our first professor of chemistry in this part of Nigeria. And she's doing it. She would have been here. I think she's with us in spirit. Now, this fund, this Education Development Trust Fund, is actually intended to support all of these, from teachers training to the Students Loan Board, in addition to what we are giving, to the Science and Technical Education Board, and it supports probably one of the most revolutionary and comprehensive educational development policies ever enunciated by any government that we know in this country. What we are seeing today. After building these schools, we decided to select the best young boys and girls from our far-flung communities in the creeks. The best in every class, particularly class 5. We get the headmasters to select the best in their classes for us and subject them to a competitive exam every year. And from there, local government by local government, they are selected and sent to these schools. And they are fed free. Some of the students are here. I encourage you to visit the students that are in all the schools, in all our local government areas, and please talk to them, mentor them for us. That's the reason we have built these environments to put them there and to be making the kind of investments that we are making. So we feed them 3 times a day. Some of them, because of our peculiar circumstances, which you all know, they ate egg for the first time in those schools. And this may sound funny, but this is the truth, not just about those students, but also about a lot of us, including myself, even though we didn't have this kind of opportunity. And they are fed 3 times a day. When I received the first brief after when they were preparing for holidays, I almost shed tears. I knew it was true. Because most of the students refused to go home on vacation. Most of them refused to go home on vacation. They said no, they would rather stay in the schools. You know, every year in this state, we put together almost all the final year students, those who are getting ready for WAEC and NECO. They do a compulsory 3-month summer vacation. There's no holiday for them for the past 3 years. And we feed them free. We select the teachers, the best teachers, and send them to the John National Academy that has all the facilities and incubate them. And I'm not surprised, my dear leaders and brothers and sisters, that as a result of all of these very deep and serious and coordinated interventions and policies, we have risen, our great state of Bayelsa has risen from 27, 28 position in national exams in this country as we met it in 2012 to the last one is number 5. Number 5. Round of applause for Bayelsa. And we can do better. We can do better. So for those who previously said we are educationally disadvantaged and who have taken advantage of our terrain and the lack of development and exposure to undermine our interests, let us put them on notice that the Bayelsa children, the George children are coming. And that is why I've invited all of you. I want to thank all of you. By law, by the law establishing this trust fund that you are here to support, 10% of the IGR of this state goes by law to support this educational trust fund. That's what Professor Ison and his board have been managing so well. And there's an education development levy on everybody who draws a salary or allowance from the government of Bayelsa State. Today, as the chairman of occasion and Professor Song has explained earlier, today is an opportunity for all of you who are not part of this public structure to still contribute, because we are counting on everybody's contribution. All our brothers and sisters. And let me put you on notice, there is a clause in this law, and when we were drafting it, that was one of the clauses I was interested in. I said, put a clause there that mandates the board, or authorizes the board, not just to levy people, but also to solicit for support from every Bayelsan, wherever you are, wherever you may be, whatever you are doing as an adult taxable citizen, you are under this law having a duty to support this. And I'm pleased that a lot of my brothers and sisters are all here to support it. This, I think, is the right way to go. There is a policy also, because of the several schools we have built. Every constituency has a boarding school under construction now. Under construction. When the boarding facilities are completed, we want to take it close enough to the people. We have already started unfolding another landmark project in the educational development policies of our state, which is to collaborate with even the military and security services. We have asked all of them to work with us. And we have not just invited them to build schools. We are building schools for them. We have handed over one of our big schools to the Nigerian Army. And the Nigerian Army promptly has taken over that school. And now we have the first Army Command Children's School, Army Secondary School in Bayelsa. And I have received assurances from all the services, all the service chiefs, that they are willing to collaborate with us. We're not waiting for them. If they build, very good. But we want schools here that these services will take over for discipline and because we know some of them run actually very good schools. So in the next couple of weeks, I will also now again hand over schools to the Nigerian Navy for them to have a Navy secondary school. I'll be handing over another one to the Air Force Secondary School. I'll be handing another one also to my colleagues, the Nigerian Police Secondary School. Another one to the SSS Secondary School. In fact, Mr. Sefa, who is here with us, I know that's one of the things he must be thinking about, because he and I talked about it, and he was just at the point of signing off, because his predecessor approved it. Mr. Daura had approved it. And then, so I will take it up with the new DG to ensure that all of them, education is for all of us, everybody to play a role, including all of you. And for the IOCs, I want to thank you all for being here. Some of your officials have left, some others are here. I want to thank you, the Chief Launcher, ITO Group. This is the state where you have your major operations, ITO. And like I whispered to you, all your sins, depending on what you do this afternoon, will be forgiven. And same for Shell, all of you. And you in the oil and gas industry, you know that I've been pretty hard on you people about talking about and raising the right issues. Respect for our environment, that's non-negotiable. Support, as you are doing now, working with us to discharge your corporate social responsibilities, especially supporting what we are doing in education and healthcare. That will not compromise. But this is a wonderful beginning, and I'm delighted you are all here. But let me also announce to you that we would also like you all to adopt schools in this state. I would like Shell to adopt a secondary school. Not that you should build one. We have built so many schools. We don't want people coming to build schools that they cannot run. So I've told IOCs, NDDC, and everybody, our problem is not building schools. We have made that investment. Our problem is not building hospitals. We have hospitals and hospitals everywhere. We are now building health centers in every ward, plus accommodation in every ward. So the diagnostic center and several other facilities. But come and own them, adopt the hospitals and the schools we are making. So I'm waiting to deepen that conversation with you. All in all, I would like to once again thank you all and solicit your very generous, very, very generous, and the generous is written in capital letters, please. Generous donations. It's not every day that we invite this our father here, former president. You can see the president is sitting here. This is a presidential gathering. It's a presidential gathering. So it's a very big ceremony, very important to us and the future of our people. If there's anyone there who is concerned about instability, this is the right thing to support us. If there's anyone concerned about militancy, this is the best and the most sustainable tool to build a stable and prosperous society. I thank you all. We are already doing our own. We have built the schools. But donate to Professor Song. And Prof, please, a special round of applause for this, our leader, Professor Song, who has taken on this wonderful responsibility. And already he has informed me that, you know, we don't interfere in what they do, so I don't know. But he has briefed me that the fund already has over ₦1 billion. A round of applause for him. But he needs more money. He needs more money. And this is only the first leg of this launching. We will reach others. I have already, on your behalf, appointed former president honorary advisor on these levies, on this collection and fundraising. I whispered to him before I climbed up, and he has accepted. A round of applause for him. I've whispered to him that he should call all the business people across this country, and I also know a couple of people who benefited so much, and who are also our good friends. This is our time of need. They should support, and he will do that. So I thank you all, and may you remain blessed as you contribute to a worthy cause. God bless Bayelsa. God bless the John Nation. Thank you.